Here comes Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
If my memory serves, and I'm an old whatever I am, and I really think that this period in Cactus's career was his intro to actual superstardom. WCW gave him, at least, say what you want about WCW, but they gave him a platform to show what he had. And what he had was good. But, and here's something you're about to hear with these clips too of Mick. First of all, he's a great guy. Everybody loves Mick Foley.
Oh, yeah.
But secondly, he could talk.
The best.
When he wasn't the bang bang Cactus Jack character, and the fact that everybody was so dead set on pushing monster muscle guys at that point, if he had chosen to become kind of like a suave talker, kind of like Ric Flairish person, he would have been good. I mean, he really would have been great taking his character and making it entirely different.
He took a lot of pride in his promos, and he worked on his promos, and he rehearsed his promos. And one thing which we always bring up here on the show, I mean, from the past rendition of it to now, is that he really, what he called, developed a lot of his muscle memory skills from his appearances on Pro Wrestling Spotlight, because he practiced some of the things that he would say and his character development. And he had carte blanche whenever he wanted to come on the show. If he called 10 minutes before I went on the air, hey, listen, I'm going to drive by. Come on in. And it was just incredible to have him so many times on the program. And between him and Paul Lee, those were the two most frequent guests on Pro Wrestling Spotlight. But his promos and the way he just even answered the listeners and the callers that called in for him.
Oh, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear that too.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
This one here, he did. Cactus had just had a great appearance against Sting, including a Clash of the Champions appearance, which was awesome. Our first clip is Mick Foley, who gives a caller named Billy a pretty good tongue lashing. So let's get to that right now.
Well, Eddie Gilbert, nature is taking care of that on its own. So Eddie Gilbert will lose the big hair versus hair match to Mother Nature, but I guess I'd like to see Medusa lose hers.
Okay.
I kind of like that balding little guy from,
The second question is, who did Sting beat to win the U.S. title?
I think he beat Stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah, that took place August 25th at the Atlanta Omni.
All right, well, maybe we'll get to see you beat him, too.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for your call, Patrick. Brian from St. James, you're next.
Hi, what's going on, John?
How you doing?
Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a long time.
How's everything?
Brian, you're a troublemaker, aren't you?
No.
Isn't there some guy from St. James who's a troublemaker?
Yeah, there were a few of them.
Okay, well, go ahead, Brian.
Okay, first I have a question for Cactus.
Okay.
When I was watching The Clash,
yes,
it reminds me a lot of the Survivor Series with the egg.
With the egg?
Because, when the chicken jumped out. Not that I'm calling you a chicken, but it reminded me because it was almost like a package.
But that egg sat outside the ring for about 3 months.
Well, when I was negotiating with the WCW, they did at one point want to call me Gobbledygooker Jack, and I ixnayed it. But no, I don't think there was any similarity. I mean, I was out there for 2 minutes. The Gooker, he was out there for about 2-3 months, and there's a difference. When he came out, he did a couple of somersaults and a tumbleweave, and Cactus Jack showed the world Sting's liver. So there's a difference. You know what I heard? I heard that Sting, after the match, he too is emotional. They said that Sting is he had a lump in his throat, and I said to them, that's not emotion, it's his liver.
I have a second question.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Actually, it's for both of you. If Cactus was offered a contract to WWF, you mean to tell me he wouldn't accept it?
That's up to Cactus.
No, well, at this point,
I have another call. Hold on.
Yeah, we're going to hold
it. Another call? My goodness, this guy better examine his priorities.
Billy from Elmont, first-time caller, you're next.
Yeah, first of all, I think that Cactus Jack is a great wrestler, and that he might bring WCW back to where it was. But a lot of people are going to call him a sellout because he used to be very successful in independent cards, and he can really draw in a lot of people to an independent show that only might draw 100 or 120, 1,500, 2,500 people might come. Why did Cactus Jack decide to go for, the limelight when independents were, his trademark?
All right, well, let me tell you something, Billy. What do you do for a living?
I'm a student.
You're a student. And what do you plan to do when you're not a student?
Hopefully write for a wrestling magazine.
Write for a wrestling magazine. Okay, so if you could write for a wrestling magazine, and then by doing that, you stop writing for your school paper, and all of a sudden, and people start calling you a sellout because you're making a living. I mean, it's not right. Don't you understand that wrestling is a business? I don't think I was selling out anything when I was standing on that top turnbuckle preparing to devastate Sting. Do you understand? I've been in this business for 6 years. You know what I have? Nothing! I have nothing, you understand, except broken body and some broken dreams.
Well,
I'm trying to talk to your question, all right?
Okay.
Do you think for 1 second that if I'm crippled in the hospital that Billy from Elmont and Joe from Philadelphia are going to pay my bills? They're not. Don't you think it's about time that I started making a living and having a real life? I mean, I wake up every day and it's tougher and tougher to do, and you want me to sit there and stand up for wrestling? I think I'm standing up for wrestling. People said, well, why do you want to go into WCW? They're falling apart. Anyone can jump on a sailing ship and it will continue to sail. Do you understand? It's that person that can rebuild a sinking ship. I think I'm doing a heck of a lot more for wrestling by being out there 5-6 times a week than I am by doing a couple of shows a week and going to some distant shore where people have never even heard of me. I mean, I stand there and I see what the people think, Billy. People forget real quick. They forget Bob Backlund. Over time, they'll forget Hulk Hogan. I stand there and I got about 30 people screaming Cactus Jack, and the other 600 people don't know who I am. Do you understand? Do you think, are you going to pay my bills when you get out of school? Is your wrestling magazine going to pay for my broken bones? I don't think so. All right, so as far as those people who think I'm selling out, I am prepared to work harder than I've ever worked before, to do moves that you've never seen before because they've never been done before, okay? As far as selling out, there is no such thing as doing that, all right? Cactus Jack is not going to compromise his character. It's the first time that these people have given me a chance to talk. There's no one saying, Jack, stand in the background and make goofy faces, because that's not what I'm about anymore. Okay?
Billy, let me ask you a question, okay?
Yeah.
If you had an opportunity, let's say once you graduate, to write for Andrew Goldberger's Around the Ring magazine or Bill Apter's Pro Wrestling Illustrated, what would you choose?
Well, I would choose for Wrestling Illustrated, but I would like to say that at least Cactus Jack made a good decision by going to WCW instead of WWF.
Well, even so, WWF, there are some wrestlers there. You mean to tell me Bret Hart and Kurt Hennig, they were selling out by having one of the matches of the year?
But like the Red Rooster, it ruined his career. Some people do well there, but other people who were successful beforehand who go there become lower stars like Terry Taylor.
You see, I feel like it's up to me. It's up to me. If people were to say, yes, Cactus Jack, you're going to put on the gobbledygooker suit and you're going to be a big star, I'd say no. No, I'll wait my chance. But I've been out there 14 months. 14 months, and sure, I've had other offers, to do things, and I didn't think the time was right. But they called up, and I said, will I have a manager? No managers. I do my own talking, and I decided to take it. It may have been a 2-week deal, but it's not going to be, okay, Billy?
Well, good luck, and I hope you win the U.S. title from Sting.
Thanks a lot, Billy.
There you go. Billy got a little bit of a tongue lashing, but he was asking some interesting questions.
I think he worded it poorly.
I do too.
I don't think there was any malice aforethought. I think he didn't know how to pose the question. In other words, are you going to be, I think the question would have been better if he said, are you going to become homogenized now? Will you not be the same Cactus Jack? Yeah. I think that would have been a more prescient question, because I think that's really what he wanted to know. Are you still going to be who you are? And right. Cactus pretty much told him, I'm going to be who I am.
And he was. And he created, that, as you said, that time period in his life and in his career was kind of the breakthrough, real big breakthrough moment for him.
It really was. And he grabbed the bull by the horns, and life was never the same after that. No. That was like his first hit single.
It was.
It was the first thing that brought people's attention to him, and they never took their eyes off him after that. I'll tell you that much.